Hey everyone, I'm Devana.
Hi, I'm Shanice.
And this is 90 Day Sisters episode 10. And today our topic is about worries that you might have in an international long distance relationship, specifically for what our personal experience is. But these are also really common, just general relationship worries as well. But there are also some that are a little bit different because of the distance.
All right, so the first one we're going to talk about is, are you worried they'll find someone else, or worried that maybe I will find someone else? At this point, no. We both made this decision. I think I'm not worried. I'm not looking. It also took me quite some time to find him, so I'm not worried about it. I don't think he's really worried about it, so that's definitely not something we worry about.
And I know for sure for my fiance that is not something. I think he worries about me finding someone else because he realizes that this is so difficult of a scenario, especially specifically for me because we do have the child and I do have to parent the child alone because he's not here, which I think is honestly I'm not going to say it's a legitimate worry, but I do think that it's right for him to worry about that because it is very difficult for me, and I do have trailing thoughts that are sometimes like, man, like I am making my situation more difficult than it needs to be, but I am not pursuing anything. I'm not looking for anything. I don't feel that if someone approached me that I would be open. I agree with her as far as like, we've made this decision, we've come to this point, and I am planning on sticking with it. So that's where we're at with this one. Let's see. Oh, and I don't worry that he'll find someone else. He's not interested. Okay, trust issues. Do you guys have any trust issues?
No, thank goodness. I definitely don't think it would work if we had trust issues. We've had conversations about that. I know his tolerance level. He knows my tolerance level. We've never even had any problems with trust issues. So yeah, that's, thank God, something that we don't even have to worry about.
I agree. And I've seen him interact with people like when I'm there in front of it, and I feel like that makes me a little more comfortable knowing how he handles other women and things like that and how he handles advances. So I don't have trust issues either. And I definitely agree if I did that I would not be willing to stick this out. It would just be too much stress. I can't check in. There's not enough control. I don't want to have to babysit. I've already got the baby to watch. So that's where we're at there. I have a question that I'm going to throw in there. Do you guys have jealousy issues that are especially heightened because of the distance? Like maybe you talk about someone from work that happens to be a male every day that you have to interact with, and so he's kind of like, oh, Shanice, you're talking about Jason a lot.
No, that's not something we have to worry about. I feel like for one hot minute we had not a problem, but I mentioned a story about a coworker, and I guess he didn't realize it was a man. And then I kind of said that he was a man. I didn't think it was a big problem, and then he told me I didn't know that was a man. So then he kind of had a slight problem with it, but it was something really small, and I'm not even really sure why he had a problem with it. But other than that, no, we're good. Okay. We're good.
And for us, I think I don't really find myself being jealous. I feel that he makes me feel secure, so I don't feel the need to be jealous. I won't say that I've never been jealous. Now, as far as him, even now, I still talk to some people. Maybe I have had crushes or that have had crushes on me in the past, but we've friends or are friends, and I do feel like if I mention that I spoke with that person, he will say a little something. So I know there's a little jealousy there, but I don't think it's to a point where it's unhealthy or where I'm like, why are you so worried about it? I don't have to snap about it. I think it's okay. It's a healthy amount of jealousy.
All right, so our next one is distance will never end, or the lack of control of being able to end it ourselves. So for me and my fiance,
it's a monstrous word.
Yes, it is. Since everybody knows we're doing the K1 visa, we don't really have control of that. Basically, I'm shipping off our decision and praying and hoping that it comes back with an approval. So that definitely is something really stressful on our end. Yeah, so I guess we kind of know the distance will end, or hoping the distance will end, but we also don't really have too much control on the end of being able to end it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Distance is a huge concern for me. We've been in the relationship a year longer than they have. And like I said, because we have the kid, I feel like there's an added pressure because for every month, every year that goes by, he is developing a new skill. He's missing it. And that is such a big thing to me, to have his father there and to try to include him, but it's really difficult. So it worries me immensely, especially now with government and how they treat immigrants and immigration and those coming in from other countries, and especially with COVID-19 going on. It's just like a never-ending, like, an international long-distance relationship is one huge obstacle in itself, and now we're just adding on top of that. So that is definitely a serious worry for me, because I don't know, there are moments, I'll be honest, where I'm like, what kind of tolerance level do I have for the timeline on this? Like, we're 3 years in. If someone came and told me today, like, Devonna, you guys can't be together guaranteed for another 2 or 3 years, would I be like, let's stick it out? That way, I can't say that my mind would not go bad places where I'd be like, wow, I really have to consider this. So that's my honest moment. Okay, let's see next. So this is my fiance. I called him and got some input on this, like what are his worries. And he said one thing is that when he's missing myself and our son, and he just feels like there's no relief. Like, it's nice when you can miss someone and then you know, I'm gonna see you at this point, or you know, you can reach out to them, that kind of thing. You can, you know, you just know, like, the missing can come to an end. We don't have any trips planned. We can't have any trips planned. And again, with the question we did before, not knowing when the distance will end, I think that is he's not coming. It's a big lizard on the wall. But that is something that I am that he is very worried about, is missing us and not being able to relieve that. As far as myself, I don't really have that.
You think I could just get the spray bottle?
No, it's not even over here.
But it's looking like
it's not coming. What do you think, it's gonna jump off? Okay. Anyway, for me, missing someone is not a big deal. I feel like it comes and it goes in waves. There were points where it was like, you know, like your heart feels like this. But I feel like yes, I really wish you could see. It's feet away from us. It's not coming this direction. But
so you can think it's mine? Okay.
So I feel like he has, like, where it's like debilitating almost, but I feel like I've had those moments, but now I'm just kind of like, I miss you when I miss you, but there's no point in me sitting there feeling that for me personally, because there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm not going to put myself in that state to feel that way.
All right. So as for us,
how does the missing thing go?
It's hard. Definitely, I think when we were together.
Push pause real quick. I just want to make sure that we're still live and going. Yeah, we're good. Shanice, it's not. It's over there.
Yeah, it's coming down. Look. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Wait, just let it go. Let me get a rock.
Shanice. What? Okay, I hope it comes off and runs this way.
Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
It's coming. There it is.
Now I have to know where it is, and that's not funny.
It's not coming. It probably went over the wall. It was going up.
I don't know, Devonna. Do you know for sure?
Get back in the camera. For certain? That's what you said.
Shut up.
Do you know for certain?
Is this gonna be blurred?
No, we're putting this in here. Okay, go.
Okay.
We're talking about missing people and how it feels.
Okay, so for us, I do definitely miss him. I think it's a lot harder when you're together and then you leave. I know, like, when we were together two months ago, and then I came back to the States, it was definitely really hard. We had some really hard moments. I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks after of, like, us being together. I definitely think I have gotten, I don't know, like, unattached myself.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm like,
Yeah.
I refuse to feel that way because there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's just too much to sit there and cry all the time and always be like, oh, I miss you, and you're not here, so I have to live life. Unfortunately, without him right now. So it's just like, you know what, I still got to do things. We got to get things done. I got to live life. It sucks, but I also just can't sit and dwell on it. So that's definitely how I see it. I think that's kind of how he sees it too. I feel like he's stronger in that aspect with missing, which is interesting. But yeah, so I think on both our ends, we know we miss each other, and sometimes we do get in our feelings, but we realize at the end of the day, like, we can't really do anything about it right now, and we are working towards not having to feel like this. So that's what we focus on.
I'm getting a serious tan, man.
Yes.
I can just
my turn?
feel it. Yeah.
Cultural adjustment is the next one. I guess it's a lot easier for my fiance and I, just because he's already been to the States, so he knows. Yeah, he's already been to the States. He was here for like 4.5 years, so he has a pretty good grasp on American culture. Of course, there are some things that I guess you don't. I don't know. He was in college, so some things he's not gonna know, but I guess that's just
true.
his.
Because one thing, he has been to the States, but think about it for yourself. College is a very protected environment.
Yeah.
Like, you're like half an adult life, but like still sheltered.
Yeah.
So when he comes here in like full out adult life, he will have an easier transition than most who have never been here, but there's still going to be some like, whoa, like this is not how it was in college. Like, this is kind of a false reality going here.
Yeah. And I definitely think college is a little nicer
Yeah.
than just real world life versus real world life.
People are more open-minded. There's more
Yeah.
diversity. There's you're dealing with people normally of a certain intelligence level. So
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
that'll be interesting to see how he adjusts to that. Shoot, I'm still adjusting to being an adult at this point, so I guess we'll both be doing it together, because I don't know whoever's really gets the adult life like that, so it'll be interesting. But other than that, I think, I'm not too worried about it, because he does have quite a good grasp, I feel like, on our culture in America. So
All right, so for us, I've mentioned before that our plan at this point is me going to Jamaica. That's still the plan, but that is still a possibility to change. We have nothing solid right now. And it kind of, we're going with whatever comes in line first. If him coming here comes in line first and that's easier, we'll go with that. Right now, we're still on me going there. So as far as the cultural adjustment, me going there, I did live and work there, as I've mentioned before. So there's still going to be an adjustment, because when I did live and work there, I was living with families for the most part. I was a teacher there, so I feel like that gave me a certain status or a certain way of being looked at in the community. So I do think when I go back, they'll probably still look at me that way, honestly. But I do still think there will be some adjustment, just because, again, that was my protected environment. Going with the organization I went for, being with living with a host family, that did give me a sort of protected view on it.
you know what?
She's an animal abuser, everybody. We got this on video. Shanice, it's just fine. Move over a little bit. Okay, now you're in the middle of the camera, so. Alright.
Am I at this side now? Or?
Okay, hold on. Stand still so I can. I have to adjust.
If the lizard comes, it's gonna get over there first.
Okay, I need you to stand still, Shanice, so I can put the camera where it's gonna stay. Oh
Sorry.
my gosh. Okay, so like I was saying, I was living with a host family, so there was kind of a protected view of Jamaica for me. He's traveled a bit, but even me observing him in Canada for the time I was there with him, there's definitely going to be a cultural adjustment for him when he comes here. Let's see, what's the next one? Oh, distance, adjusting to being closer all the time. So how is that going to be for you?
It'll be interesting. He's definitely my fiance is definitely likes to be alone a lot.
He needs to take time for himself.
Yes.
Don't say it that way. He just needs to take time for himself.
Okay, he likes to take time for himself, and that's really important to him, where I am not like that. I mean, sometimes I need time alone, but a lot of times I think just being in a big family. Going to get it. Going to get it. Going to get it. So, continuing on, yes, he likes his alone time or being alone. Me, not so much. I think it just is different between, I grew up in a rather large family, and a lot of times we're always together. Him, not so much. So, I definitely think him living with me and just me having to kind of adjust that I can't always be around him. Sometimes he needs some time by himself with me not annoying him.
And not taking it personally. It's not even you annoying him. It's just he needs time.
Well, he says I'm annoying, so I think it's annoying him. But I don't care. Whatever. So I think that is going to be an adjustment for me. I think he's going to have to adjust with me not always wanting to give him his time or space when he needs it, because sometimes I feel like he just likes to say he needs some time and he doesn't. So, yeah, that'll definitely be an adjustment for us. And just, I think, living with non-family members, that's going to be an adjustment a lot. So, yeah, that's for us.
Okay, so for us living together, now we're fortunate in this. So we are fortunate in the fact that, like I said, half of our relationship has been physically within the same place together. So we have spent a significant amount of time together. We've spent all day together, all that good stuff. So at this point, we know he and I are both people that need space. Like, he would be over at my place and then just kind of disappear into one of the rooms. And a couple times, I get up and check on him, and then I realize, like, there's nothing wrong, and he just needs a moment. Now, I do think that he is more bold about taking that moment, whereas I'm going to have to become more bold, because sometimes I felt bad doing that, but I don't mind him taking his time. I don't mind that at all. So that'll be okay for us.
All right, so our next one is finances.
Finances are rough now, being separate. They're going to be rough being together, especially considering the fact that if he does come here, and also if your fiance comes here, there's going to be a one-income household, because they're not going to be able to work for probably a significant amount of time. So, more people in a home with less money, stress. I feel like finances are a problem anyway. Also, if they come during COVID, jobs are hard to find. Getting sponsorship is hard to find. People misunderstanding immigration when you're going to get a job is something that's difficult. So finances are not where we like them to be now, and I don't imagine that they're going to, well, I'm praying that they will shift dramatically by this time so that they won't be such a stress. And my fiance and I, we just think about money differently. We deal with money differently. As far as culturally, how money is shared among a family, that is different. The fact that we have a kid, that's going to be an added financial hardship, I guess. And the way we think about money is just different. Sometimes he's talking about, doing things with his money, and I'm just like, I don't want to say anything, but I don't want to say anything because, I don't want to micromanage, and it's his money, but at the same time, I'm looking out for our future, and I want him to keep in mind looking out for our future as well, so we kind of try to keep each other in check, but we don't want to control one another. Also, being able to, join bank accounts beforehand, and who's making what, and how that is all going to go, that is all big talks. That's all a lot of stress. It's also difficult to join money across international waters, because banks have rules on you need to have a social security number, and you need to have this paperwork, you need to have an American address. So there are a lot of, layers there. And then currency. Our money is worth a lot more than Jamaican money. So I can make money faster, and I think we've mentioned that. I can usually make money faster, kind of, unless sometimes he gets jobs where he's paid in US dollars, which is great. But it disappears quicker here, because I'm paying rent, whereas he's not paying rent. Things like that, So those are all tricky.
I think us, pretty much the same exact things. Currency is different. We definitely sometimes have different mindset on spending money. We've had the conversation about, being involved in each other's kind of spending habits, but also I'm not one to control, so I also feel like that's kind of controlling. I'm not one to want to tell him how to spend his money, because once again, he works hard for his money. I work hard for my money, so it's kind of like, just trust him and make sure he's making good decisions. Trust me, make sure I'm making good decisions.
But if you have certain conversations with certain people, especially those that might be skeptical about the relationship already, it can make things worse. So sometimes you want to keep things to yourself, because there's a lot of layers of understanding living in another country, being from another country, money in another country, culture, the cultural works in different countries, that people just don't have, and I can't blame them for having certain thoughts when I say certain things, because they don't have the full understanding.
And I also feel like they don't necessarily know your partner or mine. So it's a lot different. I know him on a deeper level. She knows hers on a deeper level. So it's just, I don't know, it's hard to talk about, because some people just don't get that. If you aren't the one in that relationship, you just kind of don't understand it, and you may have a harder time trusting that person, if that makes sense, because you're not in the relationship with them. So I definitely think that is a big thing as well.
Okay. Do you ever get concerned about growing apart? There's he's experiencing so much life there, you're experiencing life here.
I don't think so. I don't know, I guess that's never been something that I've been too worried about. I think that just the fact that since we are able to talk basically every day, I don't want to say growing apart, may feel left out sometimes, just not being able to be at the situations, but I don't think necessarily growing apart. I think you have to work hard at that, and I think we do a pretty good job at working hard. He does better just because he likes to talk, so he likes to tell his stories about his day. Me, not so much, just because I'm not a talker. So, but yeah, I think that definitely helps with him being such a good talker. I don't want to say he talks a lot, but him being such a good talker, me not so much. I think that definitely helps us not grow apart.
For me, I won't say that I get worried about us growing apart at this point. The concerns that were mentioned previously, yes, but not growing apart. I feel like we're pretty solid. Although I will say that I get worried. We spend a lot of time on the phone, and we've mentioned before that sometimes there's a lot of silence on the phone, and I think that sometimes my mind gets worried that that is growing apart. Like if we don't have anything to say, does that mean we're not as close as we used to? Does it just mean simply we ran out of things to say? Does it just mean simply this is just what a long distance relationship is? So that will be my concern as far as growing apart. It's just that silence. I'm like, what does that silence mean something? Should it mean something? That's all I've got there.
Nah.
All right.
All right, so our last one we're going to do is safety. And do you want to talk about it? Or do you want me to talk about it?
Go ahead.
Okay, so on my part, my fiance, he lives in the capital of Dominican Republic. It's not the safest place in the world. He has to travel to work alone. Sometimes it's at night. Sometimes it's really early in the morning. So that's slightly scary sometimes, not knowing if he's safe and just kind of waiting, to know that he made it to work, know that he made it home. That's definitely something that can stress me out. I know on his part, he says it's stressful. I don't live in a very dangerous place, so it's not too stressful. But definitely on my part, I think just knowing that he's safe and not always being able to get in touch with him, or knowing that he's not in the safest environment all the times, is definitely concerning. So that's my take on it.
So I will say the same thing. And I even get worried for her when she tells me, like, hey, he said this and this happened up the road, or, in his neighborhood or whatever. That is concerning. Especially because I know that she cares for him, and if something happened to him, she would be hurt. That would hurt me. But with my partner as well, let's see. He has lived in places. He lived in the capital for a while, was working there. That was concerning. Like, you can hear gunshots in the background. He's telling me right now, I just, went in the gate because I heard gunshots down the street. He called me and said, oh man, so-and-so got shot yesterday. Like, that is a reality of different neighborhoods in Jamaica, especially in the capital. Now, as far as where he is from and where he is currently living, as far as where he is currently living in his small, beautiful community up in the hills, I do feel comfortable where he is at now. There are still things, I lived there myself, there are still things you gotta be worried about, but because he grew up there, he knows everybody. Little Jamaican communities are like neighborhood watch. It's probably that way in the Dominican Republic too, in certain communities. I mean, they are neighborhood watch. Like, I saw this meme the other day actually, where it showed security cameras, like stoplight security cameras, and then it labeled like US, Britain, Germany, and then I don't remember what country it was. And don't take this offensive or anything, but I think the meme was like, maybe ladies from the Middle East or something, and it showed like they were the security cameras for that country. And I was like, that is just how it is in Jamaica. Like, people just know, they're on the lookout. Even when we were in Michigan, we lived in a community full of older people who were retired. They spent a lot of time at home. Nothing was going down in our neighborhood that they didn't see. Nothing.
Yep.
So in that aspect, I'm pretty okay.
All right. So I think that's the end of this video.
And we're probably going to do this in 2 parts because it's extra long.
Yes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this.
So like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications,
Share.
follow us on social media, all that good stuff. Support us.
Yes.
Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. See you
Bye.
next time.